Katie MacIntyre, and I'm your host for the podcast, The Loving Cup, Elevate Your Gratitude. Today is Friday, August 17th, 2018, and we're live in Seneca Falls from the FingerLakes1.com studios. So welcome. Wanted to start today with a question that's asked by a leading expert in the science of gratitude, someone I've mentioned before on the podcast, Dr. Robert Emmons of the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley. So he asks, why is gratitude important? So he says and shares with us, gratitude allows us to celebrate the present and it magnifies positive emotions. Research on emotion shows that positive emotions wear off quickly. Our emotional systems like newness, they like novelty, they like change. We adapt to positive life circumstances so that before too long, the new car, the new spouse, the new house, they don't feel so new and exciting anymore. But gratitude makes us appreciate the value of something. And when we appreciate the value of something, we extract more benefits from it and we're less likely to take it for granted. So in effect, gratitude allows us to participate more in life. We notice the positives more, and that magnifies the pleasures you get from life. Instead of adapting to goodness, we celebrate goodness. We spend so much time watching things, movies, computer screens, sports. But with gratitude, we become greater participants in our lives as opposed to spectators. So with that, I would like to welcome my guests today, Menzo and Sue Case of Seneca Falls. Welcome to you both.
Thanks. Hey, Katie.
Nice to have you here. So I like to start off with having my guests introduce the other. Mm-hmm. So who would like to go first to introduce us?
All right. Well, this is Susan Case on my left. She's young. I can't remember their age, but she's been my wife of some 35-ish years. Yeah, give or take, 35. But we've known each other our entire lives. So that's Sue. She's a secretary at Katie Stanton School. Loves her job, and I can't believe she does it.
And this is Menzo. He's my husband of 35 years. And he works for Generations Bank. He's involved with Habitat for Humanity. He just loves building houses for others. And
sounds good.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you, and welcome to you both. So let's, there's no particular order. Either one of you can answer the questions first, but let's talk about something that you're most grateful for from the past year.
Do we have buzzers we can buzz in?
Oh, that would be fun. We could add that.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Good idea.
I'm most grateful for last year. We had two of our daughters were married this past year.
Congratulations.
So it was a beautiful, both of them, and they're both very happy, and they're just very grateful for the men that they married. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, she stole mine.
You may have similar answers.
Well, there's so much. There's my son, our baby, Zach, graduated from Roberts Wesleyan, and I'm very grateful for that because the bills stopped for him, and he was able to find a job with a magnificent company. Where was it? Oh, Generations. That's right. So he's doing really well, and just the way our kids have settled once they got out of college. And I'm also very grateful for our visit this past year, just a few months ago, with my eldest daughter in Texas. We haven't had a chance to do that together, and that was a lot of fun. Just really nice.
That's great. So you have 4 children?
4 children, yeah.
Do you want to give them a shout out?
Yeah, Zach, Raquel, Des,
Jacqueline.
Then the boys, Michael and Chris.
And Nate.
I'm really good at this.
It
hasn't changed a bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes
they're
you walk in the
all three
house
of our
and it's
great
like,
guys.
which one are you?
So you have name tags at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah,
it's
good
okay.
times, yeah.
It's good.
No, it's awesome.
How about if you think about your whole life, what are you most grateful for?
Man. Well, for us, God's a big part of our life. We're thankful for everything He's done for us as individuals and all that He's orchestrated for us. I am, of course, extremely grateful for my wife, Sue. She's obviously a big part of my life. We're best friends, and she makes she's the rock. She gets us through all the ooey gooey stuff, which is really important for me. I don't know if you know that I'm not much of a I'm not good at expressing emotions and all that. Sue handles that end of things, and she's just a great person to be around. So I'm most grateful for her in my life. Right after God, my wife, family. There it is. That's the way it is. So sorry, right?
Well, I'm also grateful for God and my husband and my family, and for me, what I remember the most is my family. When I was younger, I was raised on a farm, so family was brought into our lives to be a very important. We had to get along with each other, work together, share things together, and they were like our best friends because we played together too. We did everything together, so it was a great experience, and I miss. But as far as our kids are the same, that we tried to instill the value of family and how important it is to share with each other, and all of them do a great job.
Yep.
And I'm grateful that Menzo for me being able to stay home with my kids when they were growing up, and that was important to me. So that was great to be able to do that, be there when they came home from school, or to haul them to wherever they had to go. I was their chauffeur. So, yeah.
Sure. No, that's beautiful because the time goes so fast.
Oh, it does. Oh. It does. It really does.
Yeah, I don't know how old they are anymore. We found a drawer full of undeveloped film.
Oh, fun.
Just recently.
Yeah.
And Sue's actually had it in a desk drawer for a bit. And I pulled it out. I took it to work. I got a hold of Anne-Marie, and she found a place to send it. So we sent it out, and it's the lost pictures of Zach. So we've got another page full of pictures of Zach because, the first kid, we've got 20 books. The second one, fewer. Third one, fewer. And then Zach, he's got 2 pages.
But he had a drawer full of film.
A drawer full of film, so we really did well by him.
Yeah.
I keep turning it. I shouldn't. Zach over there, another Zach here. He's like, he's not helping at all. Keep turning this way. Got it.
So you mentioned, before I go to the next question, Menzo, you mentioned that you've known each other your whole life. So how did that happen?
Ooh, that's a story. There was an old school, much like the one we're in today. It was I think it was Fultonville School.
Yeah.
Fultonville?
Yeah.
And we were in kindergarten together, and her cousin and her were at my first memory, we were at lunch together.
Lunch line.
Yeah, and they were eating Brussels sprouts. Nobody eats Brussels sprouts in kindergarten, but these two did. So that was my first memory of Sue.
Good.
You thought, she's different.
Yeah, she's different, so I got to get to know her. And then she could tell you about the cars, but I remember the Brussels sprouts. So from there we just kind of...
It was a smaller school where he was in a different classroom than me too, and I just remember that there was 3 boys that came in. They were pushing cars all over our room, and they weren't supposed to be in our classroom, and they all got yelled at and sent out. One was Menzo.
The rebel, that's me.
So Brussels sprouts and toy cars.
Yeah, that was the first one. And then first day.
Yeah, the first day
wasn't until I was in a senior.
Our last month
class.
in our senior year.
So
but
I went through the right channels.
I
went through her cousin, and then had him ask her if she would go out with me, and did all the background checks and all that. And then I called her on the phone one night, and I said, would you go to it? And she said yes before I finished. So I knew right away, we were.
So where was your first date?
The senior banquet.
Senior banquet. Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was...
It was like the last month, and then he went into Marine Corps a month later. So all our dating was through letters.
For a year.
And do you have them still?
Yeah, I still have them.
They're not allowed.
And then...
I think I'm sure they're special, but just, what a great
kept
treasure.
Every letter.
I think we figured it out, and we actually maybe dated a month from, when he came home on different leaves, but most of it was through letters,
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Different time, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
It was.
Yeah, the whole wedding, I went to Okinawa for a year, ended up in Korea and Okinawa, and the whole wedding was planned by letter. And my measurements I had to get while I was in Korea for my tux, and that was my only input. It was nice, because I really didn't care. I was getting married, so I didn't care. I just wanted a white tux. That's all I cared about. Yeah, so it was a unique relationship.
We had it at my parents' farm in the backyard.
Loved it.
Yep,
nice.
It was beautiful.
Awesome.
Yep.
So one more thought before I jump back into our question. So Sue, imagine back at sitting next to Menzo at the senior banquet, I mean, did you have any idea of how many dinners you'd be going to?
I know, right?
Married to a banker and a bank
True.
president.
That was the first.
You've gone to a few.
Yep, I've been following around
Yeah,
since.
we're at an event tonight. She'll be following me around. That's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you most grateful for in the other?
I think that Menzo's, he won't admit this, but I think Menzo is very compassionate for other people and for those around him, from all the things that he does for the community. And I don't know, he's just always there, always the one that I want to talk to, always the one that, if I have anything good or bad, is the one I go to. So it's just, look forward to seeing him.
Beautiful. How about you, Menzo?
As I said before, Sue's really the emotional strings, and she my family was not a bunch of huggers at all. You know, we're very different than her family. Her family, they get together, the first thing they do is all huggy and oh hi, how are you? And ours is like, hey, how you doing? So she's that piece that was missing. It wasn't a bad thing. It was just not part of my life, and really brought it out in the rest of my family too a lot. But that's just that stickiness, and she keeps family in front. So you know, we do birthdays. Everybody's got to sing it twice. You know, we got to blow out candles. We got every chance you get together. So those types of things. That's really what I'm so glad that I have her, because that really rounds out part of my life, and that's really important. Plus, she's pretty cute, so I like that.
That's good too.
Yeah, doesn't hurt.
So what are you most grateful for in the community?
Yeah, so what are you grateful for about that? On my end, upstate New York in general, the willingness of individuals to help is really what sets the rural areas apart. And just the camaraderie when it's really needed. There's always infighting, there's always that kind of nonsense, but when the rubber hits the road, they really unite. And this community is got an exceptional volunteerism. It's not all across the board. It's just this really tight group that's out there, and I'm really glad I get to know a lot of these people. I mean, there's people I would thought were snobs or whatever, and I can't believe it, the things that they do and physically do. So, and I really appreciate them. Yeah.
I appreciate the school system. I think it was exactly what my kids needed when we were here. I love that it's a small town where you can everything's just here. Everything that you need is really just here, and you really don't have to go anyplace else.
Remember that when we first came?
Yeah, when we first
So
came.
when did you move to Seneca Falls?
99, and we drove out, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And Sue really liked it, and she said, "You're going to take this job. If they pay you, here's the price." And then Bob agreed to my wife's terms, so we came. And she fell in love with the area, and I it's not that I didn't like it, I just didn't want to move here because I was all right where I was, and frankly I wanted something different, and I'm glad we didn't do it, and we came here instead. But when we came out, everything that we did, everywhere that we went from our old house was 20 minutes minimum. Groceries, you name it, 20 minutes. We came here and we go to Wegmans for 20 minutes away, either way, Geneva or Auburn. And we tell people, we're going to Geneva grocery shop. And you're going all the way out there? You got Tops right here. Now
we become
we're like, Tops
4
is
minutes.
kind of far. Do we really have to go? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen Sue in Auburn Wegmans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's where you see people.
It's hilarious what people think though and travel, and we're all spoiled. Everything's so close.
Yep.
So did you think about gratitude much before today, or before I shared some of the questions we would be talking about?
Well, yes. We don't have I see that one of the questions is, do you have something? I forgot what it was.
Gratitude practice.
A gratitude practice. Yeah, our practice is really to remember all that's been provided to us, and we do that very regularly, frankly, through our church, and just to pause and say thank you. There's a verse in Thessalonians that says, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you." And this is really important to us. So I think we've taught that to our kids. And every so often, and I'm guilty of this, I have to stop and I have to be reminded, wait a second, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And you don't need that, or what you've got is more than enough. But, so yes. And we also do it as a family. We contribute, and it's very regimented, and those contributions are mostly unknown. We don't really talk about it too much, and that's not the point. It's really, we do that so that we remember to be grateful, and there are others that need this, and so that's, if there's a practice, I guess it's giving back. Mm-hmm. And frankly, Bob Kernan, the former president, he's my mentor, and he's a great guy. We adopted him as our father, kind of grandfather. And his practice, he told me his personal practice, so much of his income went to others, and then so much of his time, which he exceeds, and it goes to others. And he really impressed upon me that practice, and it reinforced what I believed. So that's how I think we practice as a family. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that.
No, I think I agree. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it sounds like for sure you've passed that on to your children.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, they help in Habitat. They're out there when they can.
They
Even
have
the young boys are now too.
Yeah.
The new husbands are out there.
It's funny that
learning.
Chris comes up once a month-ish, and he's right at the Habitat site.
Yeah.
And then Mike's been out there, just was out there last night.
Yeah.
So this is really, it's that kind of thing that keeps it in your forefront. Boy, we're helping somebody. That's great.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because it's the silent, consistent, it's showing up, and you used the words, one of my favorite words, willingness.
Yeah.
And so that consistency, and before you know it, you have a home for a family to move into. And that's an awesome thing.
Brian would be pretty surprised now. We're doing a 2-story, so you got it's been interesting because we don't know what we're doing. So we get a lot of input, a lot of help. So it's safe, all right, but it's new to us. And
where's the 2-story going?
It's in Grove Street, Waterloo, right behind Scoyer's.
Okay.
So that's pretty exciting because
we'll have to drive by.
Yeah, it's got sheathing on now, roofs on it, and it just got the porch on last night, so we're almost ready to go inside.
Awesome.
So it's pretty exciting. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, a roof's good. It's been raining a lot, so a roof's going to help.
Yeah.
Help you with the project.
We need the shingles, though.
Yeah. So that leads me into asking you to share about a community project that you're grateful for. So maybe Habitat's one of them. You're involved in so many different things in the community. Cool. You both are. So maybe you can talk a little bit about some of those projects, and if you want to shine a little light on some of those, so people are aware of them and ways they can support them, that would be
sure.
That'd be good.
Well. Everybody knows Habitat for Humanity is one that I'm dedicated most of my time outside of work. Even inside work, I put quite a bit into it. But the idea of building homes with a family right next to you, and they're putting in the time, and what can be done when these families that really just need a hand up and not a handout, they get into these homes, and we see a change in the children. We see a change in the individuals. And they put a lot of effort into this. And those that help get a lot from it as well. So we're very blessed to be able to be a part of that. So that's a big one. If you want to ever donate to Habitat for Humanity, you can always drop by it with a check to Any Generations Bank. They'll know what to do with it. But if you want to volunteer, we're at Grove Street, 25 Grove Street in Waterloo. And we're building right now.
And Saturdays?
Saturday, all day.
Mm-hmm.
You can show up anytime. And Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 to 7. So it's a good time.
And they have a lovely neighbor.
Yeah, they have a great neighbor. She's so wonderful.
She makes us coffee.
Oh, nice.
Catholic Daughters of America will give them a shout out. They give us food every Saturday.
Yeah, for lunch.
Too much.
Yeah.
It's great. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So do people need to have skills, Menzo, or
no
will
skills.
you teach them?
No, because we didn't have skills either.
Yeah.
So everything I've done, I've learned either through the farm or through Habitat. So we help them through. They don't have to climb ladders if they don't want to. We find things to do.
That's good. So if you want to learn how to sheetrock or paint or wield a hammer,
right,
Habitat's your place.
Yep. Yeah. But that's a big one. Recently, I just got on the National Women's Hall of Fame and working with them. It's different. A different perspective on a lot of things. Just to think about the history that's not being told about women.
Sure.
And getting that and getting through this mill project is it's amazingly complex. But just to see that kind of dedication, I think it's important for our community. It's not a political issue at all. It's a recognizing great women, and we've got so many stories not told. Aretha Franklin passed away, and I was thinking, is she in the Hall of Fame? Because she should be, but there's so many that we still have yet to recognize. And
it would be a good exercise for folks to go and look at the 276 that are on the list and see how many are missing from.
Right, and to write and to apply and put someone forward and go through that process. And there's a labor of love that's involved with that, and I understand that, but that's really something. So that's an interesting project. It's an interesting organization, and I've had a lot of fun with that, trying to figure it out.
We also are involved in our church. We're Sunday school teachers, and Menzo counsels people for finance. So
through
have a lot of friends.
We just put together at the bank a credit rescue. So there's times when people have some difficulties they didn't anticipate, and I just sat down with one today and. Just difficulty, and we're trying to figure out how we can help them, or help them help themselves, depending on how the situation is. And I think we've got 13 to, I think it might be 15 families now that have gone through, and every single one's a success.
That's great.
None have fallen out. So that's a good little thing. I like doing that. I really enjoy sitting down with folks that are ready to make a change, and I think that's important.
That's what we found out in our counseling is they have to be ready to change.
Yeah, some aren't.
Some aren't.
That's
some
okay.
Just have to wait a little bit.
You've got to wallow around in it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
another program he does is a car program for single. Is it?
That's for anybody. It's affordable transportation.
That's
just so they get a car, Wheels for Work. So that's a good one. We try to get them in a car. The first person we did walked a mile to work every day. She showed up every day, single mom, couldn't get to her child in Wayne County for visitation and getting through that, and didn't have a car. So that's what started the program. Then the second person, give or take, was one of my own employees, didn't know. She got in her car one day and she pulled the door closed with a rope. And I said, that will not stand. So, we just bought a house for a family in Waterloo that was burned out, and I'm going to meet with them tonight at 7 o'clock. We hopefully will be able to turn over the keys, and they're going to buy the house, and we made it possible with Habitat for Humanity Generations and Terry Clark at Waterloo School, and what's his name? Mark Pittifer, the counselor, got a hold of us and said, we know you can get this done.
And they're so excited. We met them
can't wait.
Yeah, they're so excited to have someplace so close to school.
It's cool stuff.
That's good. So can you tell us about Tall Cop?
Tall Cop, he's coming. October.
Waterloo.
Yeah, he's going to Waterloo School District. Tall Cop. He's a tall cop. And what's nice is his impressive size. You can't help but pay attention. He talks about the culture of the drugs in our school and how it's showing up in the weirdest places, and how kids are being sucked into this idea that that's really where they need to be. So
is that open to the public?
It's open to the public. It'll be, I think
it's October 1st.
I think it's October 1st. So Waterloo School District, get the word out. We'll start doing something in September.
Menzo was involved with that because the bank also supports DARE. And it's in all 4 schools, right?
Yeah.
All 4 of the schools in Seneca County.
Yeah, it's important, and it's changing so much. I mean, I don't know if you saw the news recently about what happened in New Haven by the Yale campus, but the 70 overdoses in a very short time.
And it's short. I thought it was
synthetic
a day,
marijuana.
Yeah.
So it's scary stuff.
It's scary because I just read an article on it. The active component in marijuana, I think THC, the concentration back when the 70s, the hippies and all that, 3%, 5% was primo, 30+% now.
Yeah, and I've heard even higher.
And that is heroin. It's addicting, brain damaging. We should not legalize it. That's the kind of drug we can't put that in the streets. So hopefully we get some education. Maybe our governor will get educated, and just let's think this through before we take an action that we can't reverse. Drugs are really destroying communities, and the Tall Cop's awesome.
Yeah, and just great information. I've seen that presentation, I think 3 times so far. I learned something new every time. Yeah. And so, I mean, parents, community members should definitely come and see it. And it's wonderful that Generations Bank sponsors that.
Yeah, we have a good time.
And brings it here. Anything else for community events and things you want to make sure people know about or people could support?
Well, tonight is Taste and Tunes. You're very familiar with that. I know you were right there when we started it off, and appreciate everything you did. It's going forward. So that's tonight.
And this benefits House of Concern,
House Concern. And tomorrow is the paddle crawl. I think that's canal crawl.
Canal crawl, yeah.
Somebody's with a paddle, I know that. Canal crawl, and you don't crawl through the canal, but you can get in a kayak and paddle through it. So that's a great fundraiser for them. I know it does really a lot of funds get raised through that event. So that's pretty exciting. And there's something tonight I want to say as well.
Houses that you're
no, it's Ann Sandroni.
Yeah.
I don't.
There's a cabaret in this space next to downtown Delhi, and actually Zach, our producer, is one of the performers.
See, he should do Eggman Man. He should be in the background himself, and he should sing.
So folks watching live should either check out the cabaret that's next to downtown Delhi tonight, or Taste and Tunes. And
they go Taste and Tunes, grab a bite. Taste a little bit.
Yeah,
they could have a wild night.
Yeah, and then jump right over there and see the shelf. So that's pretty exciting. Oops,
absolutely.
Stop kicking the table.
So we are coming to the end of our time together. See, I told you it goes fast. Is there anything else you want to share about gratitude before we sign off today?
Well, I think it's a big problem. I think we need to see more of it, and I hope we see it. And I think as we get involved in each other's lives, we take the opportunity to help and assist. And I think that will make us all more grateful. It really does make a difference.
It does, and it's free, and there's health benefits.
Right.
Good stuff.
And you don't even have to hug. You'll be all right.
It's true. It's true. So that does bring us to the end of our time together. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with 2 more guests. If you or someone that you know would be a good guest for the show, please contact me through Finger Lakes One. And until then, have a great day. Have a grateful day.